on what's happening in the national government. What is your message to people who are experiencing some sort of concerns or emotional turmoil over what's happening with the Trump presidency? What's your message to people in Ohio about the state legislature's role in all of this?
For us, I mean, I've been traveling the state talking to different people about that exact issue, and so everybody wants to know, you know, if they're upset about a number of things and they want to know what they can do, and they want to understand where they can go in order to have their voices heard. And so for me, it's important that I give them that platform to come down to the State House and testify on different bills that are going to affect them directly. And having, you know, real people's perspective is so important for legislators. And so I'm constantly trying to organize and get people down to the State House so that they feel that they're a part of the process. And having the televised committees is going to be helpful, and expanding that I think is going to be great and all, but giving them the real feel that their voices do matter in the General Assembly and in the State House, that's the key, is harnessing that anger, excitement, anxiety, and putting it toward in a positive way in order to make a positive step for all Ohioans, I think, is the key. So it's just talking to people, talking them through the situation and the issues, and then allowing them to have a positive impact on the state.
Yeah, I would say, you know, when I look at, you know, protesting is part of the American fabric, and I think it's fine, and certainly people have a right to do that. But when I look at how much protesting is happening this early, I mean, we're 11 days into the presidency, and I look out over the course of 4 years, I go, man, people are just exhausted. But I also, you know, people have to temper that and pace themselves and allow some things to happen and see what truly happens, so that people don't become desensitized to the concerns, and you can wear yourself out. I would say I think some of the rhetoric during the campaign was incendiary, and that's probably driving a lot of fears and uncertainty of a whole lot of people across the country, and they're reacting to that. And in the first few days, you know, my concerns are the implications of some pretty tough talk in the first 10 days are pretty big. It sounds good, but raising tariffs on Mexico and picking that fight have huge economic implications for the country. You know, a lot of our trade deficit with Mexico is because we buy a lot of oil from Mexico. If you start adding a 20% tariff on that coming the other way, well, gas prices start to go up. Gas prices go up, everything goes up. You kick a lot of migrant workers out, the cost of produce goes up. I mean, there's a lot of things in that first 10 days of talk that 18 months from now could come crashing down on our ears, and that kind of stuff really heightens people's fears and already tough times for a lot of people. I mean, even though the economy has bounced back, that doesn't necessarily reflect how hard people are working to make ends meet. And so you add all that stuff up, it's very volatile, and when people are afraid, they react to that. And so I think everybody, including the administration, need to kind of bring the temperature down a little bit and focus on the work. And if it doesn't, I suspect this will go on for the next 4 years. But everybody has a part in trying to bring that back into, rein that in.
I would just add, you know, I mean, I think the speaker's shown a lot of leadership on this, and people obviously worried about the federal level, I hope would recognize that the state level operates a little differently. Why the leader said earlier, we disagree on some things, we agree on a lot. The speaker said in his opening day remarks that House Bill 1 is going to be Amelia Sykes' bill. So a Democrat bill right out of the chute when there's a lot of uncertainty in Washington, I think sends a clear message that we're going to work together here. The other thing he did was set up a federalism committee with the idea that if they block grant monies back to us in a lot of different ways, or send more power back to the states, that we're ready and equipped to go ahead and you know, take advantage of it and get moving. So I think we're certainly responding a little bit to that, but in a good way, in my opinion.
If I could just very quickly, Joe Schiavoni touched upon some of the things that I was going to say, but there is a lot of frustration out there. People do feel that, can they really impact the system? Are their voices being heard? And many of my colleagues do many things to reach out to those folks, because if they get to know you as a person, In most cases, they might not agree with you on some of the votes you take, but they'll feel the system is listening, the system is there. I remind people that what we do in Columbus is not an academic exercise. It's not academic, it's because we touch people's lives every day. We touch people's lives every day, and I think they feel that the government as a whole and is not trying to respond to them. But we encourage people to do their, what I call walk and talks, walk through the main streets of communities there where you stop in at businesses and service areas, say, how's it going? Go to your county fairs so people get to know you. Do town hall meetings with groups, have office hours, because if they can touch you and see that, that things are working, they'll feel a lot better. And oftentimes some of the best ideas you get for legislation will come from somebody that has read something or is a particular issue that they're dealing with. And then many times at the state level, you can follow through with that, and they see that, and then they see the system working. I can give you one example. Again, many years ago, a lady in Stark County had read a story about a Good Samaritan law for food pantries, where in another state it passed the Good Samaritan law so that organizations could go get unserved food from the restaurants and take it to the food pantries as it was unserved. Brought it to me, we introduced the bill, that person came down and testified, and they saw that the system did indeed work. And Chairman Smith mentioned also, and Leader Schiavoni knows this too, many of our bills are bipartisan in the state Senate. I want to see close to 90%, because they're just good government bills that both parties can agree on. Yes, there's differences in tax issues and spending issues, but that's not the largest percentage of the overall bills. And I can't tell you how many times constituents from Stark County have come down, observe the Senate, observe the courtesy that we're not screaming at each other, calling each other names, and the roll call is taken, and it's basically unanimous. I tell them it's because we try to work together, but there are those cutting edge issues, obviously, that are different. But I think we're trying to show at the state level that the system can work.
Thank you.